Hey peeps! So you have no idea how happy I am to be able to make this video right now with the struggle I have had with this plant. Laugh if you must, but I know I am not alone on this one, and I'll give you a bit of a background on it in a minute. So this is my Portulacaria Afra variegata, and oh my gosh, as you can see, I've gone crazy with the cuttings, and here's why. So when I first got this plant, it was a small two-piece cutting from Spain that I ordered from eBay, and it was just not doing well. So this piece here, which is actually my oldest, is the only surviving piece that I have from that original purchase. So as you can see, this one has the more woody looking stem. It definitely looks more older and established, as opposed to this one here, where you can see it's more of that traditional, if I put the light on a sec, it's more of that traditional greenish, reddish, pinkish tone, as opposed to this one, which has the much more woodier tone. So the story behind this one was, as I said, it came from Spain. So going from a climate like that to a climate of Belgium, which is obviously much colder, was quite the shock for it. So when I got it, I tried to do some budget bonsais, and that just, they just deteriorated. So what I did is I managed to take a small cutting from, say, about there, from the original piece, and from that original piece I got this piece here, which I then took more cuttings, which then became this piece, and then I took even more cuttings, which I then put into this pot here. And as you can see, despite my initial struggle, which wasn't just with this one, but I actually got another variegated type. It was the one with the dark green but with the white stripe in the middle. I can't remember what that one's called. No, it completely eludes me, but it was a different type. And that one also ended up perishing as well, but this one was the only one that I managed to get thriving, and that was only because I took cuttings, and obviously the cuttings acclimated just in time to become an easy care plant for me, because there was one point where I was thinking, maybe I should just try the solid green version, or maybe I should just give up, because clearly this plant, as easy care as it is not for me, because it just keeps dying no matter what I do. And I've seen this many times on some of the Facebook plant groups that I'm a member of. And it's so comforting to know that I'm not alone with this struggle. But ultimately, I think it just depends on your environment, the care you give it, and of course, whether or not the plant is fully acclimated to the environment you've got it in. So the cool thing about Portulacaria Afra is that although it looks very similar to jades, or the Crassula ovata, although I really don't think it does, is that this is actually edible, and is actually a very nice plant to have in your collection. And although it's an acquired taste, you can eat it, but it's quite bitter, I find. But elephants love it, which is where it got its colloquial name from, elephant bush. So what they do is they go along to these big massive bushes in the wild, and they strip it off and they eat, and the little bits fall off, and they root and plant, and they go on to live on and grow into bigger bushes, hopefully. And this is my variegated form, which you'll see in the wild, but because it grows much slower than a solid green plant, the green will ultimately overgrow the white, and the white variegation will ultimately just be shaded, drowned out, and it will die. So that's one reason why I prefer, well, I wouldn't say prefer, that I find the variegated plants so beautiful, because without human intervention, then nature will just wipe it out because it's an undesired mutation. It's not very practical and it doesn't serve the plant ultimately. But my gosh, is it beautiful. I am so happy that I finally managed to get this growing and acclimated and looking gorgeous, and I really can't wait for them to grow into proper bushy trees. Or maybe I'll make a couple of bonsais from them, but there you go guys. Just a quick video over my Portulacaria Afra. And I guess I should go through some care options as well, because again it's always handy to know. So how I keep these is I keep them in the same conditions as my other succulents and jade plants, with the sandy chunky soil, so it's fast draining and it doesn't retain moisture too much. And because it's much smaller and it doesn't retain as much water as a more mature plant, the watering needs are a little bit more than a Crassula ovata or a mature one at that. So I usually give water about once a week, and these guys don't sit wet too long. And how I test it is, one, you do the poke test. So you kind of stick your finger in like that, down to the second knuckle. And you can see here that it's very dry, flaky, it comes off, you can't feel any moisture at all. So if that's the case, and the leaves are looking a little bit puckered and they're not plump as they are now, and you can actually squeeze them and they wrinkle and they have a little bit of soft give to them, then yeah, I would give it water, because these guys really won't last that long in dehydrated conditions because of their size and age. So these ones take just a little bit more watering than my jade plants do. And again, I have them sitting in an east facing window, so they get plenty of morning sun, and then they get just normal daylight throughout the day. So as you can see, that's really serving me well. The only thing is, in the 3 years that I've had this, and because it's variegated and because of all those struggles and setbacks, they really haven't grown all too much. But for the type of plant it is, being with the variegation, they have actually grown significantly well, and I'm proud of them. So hopefully we can follow these guys a bit more, and once I have something cooler to show you, I'll update you again. So there you go guys, that's my Portulacaria Afra video. I hope this has been enjoyable and that you've learned something from this. If not, you just got your dose of plant porn or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Thanks for watching peeps. As always, it's much appreciated. Much love, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.